guys, we're about to work on the mounting plate for the Arbor press. I have a plate of aluminum here. I guess it's maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. It's already got some holes drilled in it. It was a motor mount for another project that I changed out, and I just needed a piece of metal. All this is going to be covered up by the Arbor press, so it's not going to be seen. Plus, I actually need this cutout here for the Arbor press. So, what I'm going to do today, and what I'm starting to do right now, is I'm going to drill and tap this for the collar. This collar here. This is what's going to mount this to the column, the old drill press column and base. And then the Arbor press is going to mount here. So we're going to put these 4 holes in and get this ready. And then we're going to take and we're going to trim it down to 8¼ inches wide. And then we'll put 2 holes in to mount the Arbor press to it and tap those. So, and then we have to cut out, we'll have to cut out some area on this end to allow for the opening. I have it clamped down with some toe clamps on some parallels. I've got a couple of 5/8 pins, dowel pins, down in the grooves, and that's what I've got it up against. That keeps it good and square. So I'm going to find the edge, the outer edges, and we're going to work from the center out. So I'm going to be 10 inches from this end and center out in here, and this is going to put the actual Arbor press, the weight of the Arbor press on the back of the column. The center of gravity is going to be way back, but when you use the Arbor press and you're putting the forces on the front, it's going to actually apply the force directly down on the column, or more direct on the column than a cantilever effect, and it should be more sturdy. So here we go. We're going to find the edge, go to center. Well, actually, I'll start on this end and find this end, come over 10 inches, find the edge, go to center, and then we'll work our way out from there. So, I tell you, I took that 8-inch power room vise off this thing. Man, the thing's heavy. I've never tried to move it by myself. It was everything I could do. I use an 8-inch at work, and I've always said I'd never have an 8-inch vise. But there's other things I've said I'd never do, and I end up doing them. So here we go. go half. There we go. That's what I want. Alright, there's our center. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a center drill and I'll put it in here and I'm going to spot all 4 holes just to make sure they don't interfere with the holes that's already in here. So bear with me for a second. Okay, so we need to go, the distance is 3.5 inches center to center in the X, 4.5 inches in the Y. So we're going to go half of that, so we're talking about 1 3/4. So let's move to 1 3/4. Alright, on X. Y, we need to go 4.5, so we're talking 2 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to, should be our first hole. Okay, so we need to go. That's 0 1 3/4. We need to go in our fly back to okay, that should be where our That's the only drill bit I could find the right size this morning. I know I have others, but I won't spend the time looking for them. Okay, we're going to drill. Okay, so there's the hose tap. This will mount the column and the base. You know, about there. So now I'm going to trim this back to 8 1/4 inches. So we're still going to work off center. So, alright guys, we're going to take in now, we're going to take in, trim this thing down to 8 1/4 inches. I guess got a 1/2 inch end mill in. Basically, we go and feed into 4 1/8 off each side. That should give us the right diameter or the right width. So we can run it in a little bit. Alright guys, we're here at the surface grinder, the Taft Peirce surface grinder. I have the wear plates, gibs. I'm not sure what the name would be, but anyway, basically these are shims that go in the ram that allow you to adjust the ram. It would be the same thing as a gib in a lathe or mill or anything like that. These are chewed up pretty well. And I got them on here. All I'm going to do is just dress them, just get them smooth again. We're not trying to take anything off much, so bear with me and we'll see if we can get something done here. just trying to find a high spot, make sure we don't dig in. I think the high spot's going to be right here. There we go. Going kind of slow. I don't want to put too much heat in these parts. It's so thin they'll heat up quick. Alright, I'm going to stop there. You can see there's still some pitting in the backside, but all I was trying to do is get the high spots out. This gib here probably has another 5 thousandths to go to get this out, so I'm not going to worry about that. You'll see why when I get it over to the machine. So anyway,